Welcome to Battle of the Boroughs. I'm Max Ruvo.
And I'm Heath Kalb. On this podcast, our second ever, we'll be speaking about the Kevin Durant injury in Game 5 of the Finals and its ripple effects on the Nets and the Knicks free agency, R.J. Barrett and other draft prospects the Knicks and the Nets might be looking at in this upcoming draft, the NBA Finals, and the Anthony Davis trade sweepstakes.
So, first, Heath, let's start with the Kevin Durant injury.
Shall we?
First, okay, you can start.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I was going to let you start, but I guess I'll start. It looks like, according to medical professionals and fans of basketball, that Kevin Durant has torn his right Achilles tendon.
So they say. There hasn't been an official report yet.
No, there has not. But this would, of course, sideline Durant for probably close to a year, if not longer, as this happened to other stars like Cousins and Kobe in recent years. But one, it's devastating to Durant, but two, it's going to make the last two games in the finals pretty interesting, seeing that the Warriors are going to have to battle against the Raptors without their best player. So.
First off, we'll say prayers to Durant, because, anytime a player of his caliber, or any player, in that matter of fact, gets injured like that, it's horrible to see. You could see players were noticeably shook by this. Bob Myers, the Warriors GM, was pretty much shedding tears talking about it. And it's just terrible to see, and the fact that fans were kind of cheering when he got injured was a little messed up. They probably didn't know the extent of the injury, but the fact that he was hurt made them happy because he's such a high-level player, and the impact he can make on the game. So bouncing off this, we'll talk about how the impacts the Knicks and the Nets this offseason. So Heath, as a Nets fan,
yeah, I am a Nets fan.
You're the Nets fan,
correct? Well, for one.
They weren't going to. They're not signing him either way. No, I'm just saying.
Well, I'm just saying that you're wrong. So, recently, the Nets traded Alan Crabb. We got rid of his $18 million contract to the Atlanta Hawks. We also had to give up 2 first-round picks to get back the mediocre Taurean Prince and a second-round pick in 3 years.
Good defender.
Yeah, solid shooter. But there's no reason other than to give up 2 first-round picks just to give up this guy's contract, other than to clear up space if we think we're getting 2 max contracts. Yeah. Now, we're already confident we're getting Kyrie Irving.
The Nets front office has to be almost certain they're going to get 2 max contracts. Because if they're so certain they're going to get Kyrie Irving, worst case scenario is they can always sign back D'Angelo Russell, which we talked about.
So let's say we don't keep D'Angelo Russell and we do get Kyrie Irving. Maybe the Nets had some intel that they were going to get Kevin Durant, and if this is the case, if so facto,
I'm your boss.
It would be quite bad for the Nets if we were planning on signing KD and we ended up not getting him. So, I don't know. I really don't know what this injury, holds in store for him and his plans. But even if we sign him, he's out for the year probably. So we won't be able to see him for another,
And would you be willing to take the chance as a Nets fan? And let me ask you this.
Please ask.
You have to sign Karis LeVert back because next year's his contract year, right?
I believe so.
So would you be willing to sacrifice a year of Durant being healthy, have Karis LeVert play, him potentially have a great season, not being able to re-sign him the next year? So the Nets might maybe not want to make that
You
choice.
Can't pass up on the opportunity to sign Kevin Durant, one of the most talented players of all time. You as a Knicks fan will know that Kevin Durant's probably the only player the Knicks were going to get in free agency because no one else wants to go there, rightfully so. So now it's looking like next year could also really be a tanking year for the Knicks again.
Well, as we saw, the Daily News actually on their back page today commented on this. They said, Knicks lose Game 5. Durant goes down with Achilles injury, ruining everything as Warriors avoid elimination. So, as a Knicks fan, we might be more upset than Warriors fans about this injury.
Well,
he was viewed as a messiah to us, coming to save our failing organization.
Yeah, well, it's not failing, it's failed.
The failed organization.
Yeah.
And noticeably, everyone's upset about it. And I think that people were mad about this post because the Daily News typically takes it a step too far.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think the Knicks can still sign and will go after Kevin Durant this offseason, even if he does have to sit out this year. I think that to an extent it can be a blessing in disguise for the organization because they won't have to trade for Anthony Davis because they're not going to make that push, and they might take an RJ Barrett in this year's draft, and he'll have potential to be ball dominant and might break out. Well, and then once Durant comes back, you can worry about the next year. You'll still have money for another max.
Yeah, but
what do you have to say about that?
I have a lot of things to say about that, actually. Well, one, yeah, it could be a blessing in disguise because the Knicks could get another good draft pick after next year. But if you have the opportunity to trade for Anthony Davis, and you have the confidence that you're going to re-sign him after the next year, you're going to trade him. There's no one on the next year not going to trade for him. And you can't make that argument with R.J. Barrett because Kevin Knox could have been ball
exactly.
He wasn't good this year. He wasn't great.
There's been buzz that people in the Knicks front office are nervous about trading for Anthony Davis due to the Melo catastrophes.
Yeah.
But Melo did bring us to a 2 seed in the East, losing in the Eastern Conference semifinals to the Pacers in 6.
Yeah. I don't know if trading your whole future away is worth a second-round appearance in the playoffs. I, as a Nets fan, would know that experience all too well.
I would say, like, as a person who has seen the Knicks make the playoffs, 2 or 3 times, I've seen them be above 500 twice in my lifetime.
Yeah, that's sad.
It's kind of hard to see a trade-off because, in my eyes, I wouldn't mind seeing us get to the second round. Mm-hmm. But when you trade for players like at that caliber, you're not saying, I'm going to the second round. You're saying, I want to go to the NBA Finals. And I think that with this, there's many questions to be asked. Do the Pelicans even have a package that they would want from the Knicks? Probably not. They discussed that they don't think the Knicks have the talent that they want.
It'd probably have to be a multi-team deal.
And then does Anthony Davis want to sign long-term? I would say he did say he would sign long-term, but would that be with Durant pending a contract? And I think that Anthony Davis would be fine being on the Knicks this year, knowing Durant will come back the year following, but will Durant be of that caliber? Will he be able to play at the same level? And Achilles injury is pretty major.
Yeah. I think as a Knicks fan right now, you just have to be focusing on the draft. So right now, it looks like R.J. Barrett is who they're going to take at 3. He seems like he wants to go to New York. I don't know why, but he said he's not working out for any other teams.
In the lottery.
Well, he's going to get drafted in the lottery. So, he'll probably be a Knick. As far as the Nets go, really the one thing we're lacking right now as far as, our depth chart before free agency is we need a power forward. So, I don't know, maybe a guy like Brandon Clark or Rui Hachimura from Gonzaga.
Would you give... in the draft?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pending, of course. We don't sign a power forward like Tobias Harris or trade for one like Anthony Davis.
Julius Randle.
Julius Randle's another one. Those are all possibilities. But yeah, I think, the draft might be a big night just because of trades, not necessarily, free agency. But I think we're probably going to see the Anthony Davis trade before the draft because the picks that the Pelicans are probably going to get,
they'll want to
They're going to want to know who they want. So before the draft happens, the NBA Finals are, of course, still going on. And we just watched Game 5, and the Warriors had a crazy comeback win, which was kind of overshadowed by the Durant injury. But
Heath and I actually watched that game together.
We did watch that together, yeah. By the way, your water bottle's huge.
You need to stay hydrated. Stay thirsty, my friend.
Mine's like a fourth the size of yours.
Well, how many ounces are in yours?
16.9 fluid ounces.
Mine is 50.7, so it's a little more than 3 times the size.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's like we said, every inch matters on our last podcast.
Of course. So, we were watching that game together.
You called the threes that Stephen Clay hit late in the game.
I did, yeah. I got to give props to Stephen Clay, the Splash Bros, for, winning that game. But I got to give credit to both of them. Now Game 6 in Golden State, the last game ever in Oakland. What do you think's going to happen?
I think without Durant, the Raptors take Game 6.
Yeah.
And they had an off night, the Raptors, and still almost beat them.
There's no excuse for them. Outside of a 3-minute burst by Kawhi Leonard, Raptors had no business even being in that game. So,
Speaking of Kawhi Leonard, there's been buzz about Kawhi he will meet with the Knicks. Chris Carter says it's higher likely possibility than people think. You don't think Chris Carter is a good source because he's a football analyst, but like I said, he's
not just a football analyst. He's a former football player. You know,
I played baseball. What's your point? You can't talk about
exactly. Your opinions are invalid.
You can't talk about another sport when you.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, Chris Carter is going to have sources in the NFL, not in the NBA, or at least not as great sources.
So, like Adam Schefter, yes, probably about Kawhi.
Well, Adam Schefter is also a football guy. I'm not going to take, you know, my sources from Schefter. If it was Woj,
no, that's what I mean. Yeah.
No, I'm saying if it was Woj or Shams or you know any of those big names, like so Mark Spears,
not Mel Kiper.
No, not Mel Kiper. I'm not taking
Todd McShay.
No, not Todd McShay. No, maybe like John Green.
Do you think that the Nets could make a run after Kawhi Leonard?
I just don't think it's going to happen.
Is he going to meet with the Nets?
I'm not sure. I think he's going to stay in Toronto after this. I mean, if I really think they're going to win Game 6, I think he'll stay in Toronto. The city loves him, so I don't see him going anywhere else. If he's not going to if he's not staying in Toronto, he'll probably go to the Clippers, who are one of the 3 teams right now who have the ability to have 2 max contracts.
Do you think they'll sign 2?
And that's the Knicks and the Clippers. I mean, who are they going to get? I mean, if we really believe the Knicks are going to get KD, the Nets are going to get Kyrie. I don't. And maybe Kawhi goes to the Clippers. Who else is there left?
Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler.
Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler.
Probably one of them's going to
Jimmy Butler.
At least one of them will stay.
I think.
Yeah, I think Butler either go to the Lakers or stay in Philly.
Do you think he'll be on Space Jam with LeBron?
I don't know, but I know Klay Thompson came out recently, and there was the report that he's one of the guys with LeBron for Space Jam.
Would you like to see any Nets players in Space Jam, maybe?
Yeah, maybe like a Jared Allen. Could be reminiscent of Sean Bradley in the first Space Jam. You know, the tall, lanky guy.
With an afro?
Well, Sean Bradley didn't have an afro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I would say maybe Mitchell Robinson could play that role better.
I would say you're wrong.
Oh, I would say I'm right.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's probably going to come out in years. But I think Kemba's probably going to stay in Charlotte. And then, you know, of course the Mavericks are going to keep Kristaps Porzingis. He's a restricted free agent. Who's a familiar face in New York, is he not?
He is.
Yeah.
We don't talk about.
Okay, yeah.
We're still in the mourning process.
Yeah, of course. So, you know, the last deal of business for the free agency as this looms is the Anthony Davis trade. Who do you think the Knicks could even... Is there any trade the Knicks can give up?
I think it would
with their pathetic roster.
I think it would... I wouldn't say we're a pathetic roster. I would say we're a young roster. Thanks. So...
Okay.
I would personally say that...
Yeah.
If the Knicks were to make a run at Anthony Davis, it would probably have to be a multi-team deal, which David Griffin has said that he doesn't think the Knicks have enough assets. It came out that he wants one All-Star, one potential All-Star, a solid role player, and
2 draft picks.
A bunch of draft picks.
Yeah.
Which is a lot to ask because no team right now has that they're considering. So the Lakers, for example, you're not trading LeBron; he's the only All-Star on the team.
Yeah, I mean there are guys with potential. Ingram,
but you don't have an All-Star on that.
Well,
team.
The only team that can trade for Anthony Davis, who has a young All-Star, is the Nets and D'Angelo Russell. If we sign and trade D'Angelo Russell with other pieces, but
then D'Angelo Russell would have to agree to the sign and trade to go to the Pelicans.
Correct. But what young player wouldn't want to go to the Pelicans and play with Drew Holiday and Zion Williamson and whoever else the Nets give up, like maybe Jared Allen or Karis LeVert and picks? And for the Nets, I mean, if you can pair Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis up, I know that's crazy hypothetical, but I mean, we're championship contenders there.
Yeah, well, you have to be at that point.
Yeah.
You have 2 of the top players. You have a top 3 point guard in the league and the best center in the league, maybe Embiid. But he's more of a power forward. I mean, it's kind of positionless.
I'd take Anthony Davis above Joel Embiid.
I would as well.
Just because he's not as injury prone.
I would
as
well.
Even though Anthony Davis gets injured occasionally.
Oh, speaking of taking players over players, did you see Stephen A. Smith's top 5?
I did.
James Harden and Giannis were off the list.
Well, yeah, but those are the 2 guys you have to keep 2 guys off the list of top 5 because out of the top 7,
because it's not a top 7, so you would have to take 2 of the top.
Yeah, no, I understand simple mathematics.
Because 7 minus 5, it's
Two.
Two.
Yeah, no, I'm aware. So, yeah, but who else are you going to take off the list? You're not taking Curry, Durant, LeBron, Kawhi, or Anthony Davis off that list. Who are you going to take off?
Anthony Davis.
No, you can't take off Anthony
Why?
Davis.
You have James Harden who averaged 36 a game.
Yeah. Anthony Davis has also put up absurd numbers. Davis this year, in 33 minutes a game, averaged 26 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and a couple steals and a couple blocks a game.
Sounds like Stoudemire in his prime to me.
No,
With the Knicks.
Sounds more like Nenad Kristic in his prime.
Oh, he's a good player. Reggie Evans maybe per 48.
Yeah, maybe Reggie Evans, best rebounding big of all time, probably.
Shout out Reggie.
Shout out Reggie Evans, rebounding machine.
That man crashed the glass.
Yeah, crashed the glass better than anyone.
What does Kawhi say? Board man gets paid.
Board man gets paid. Yeah.
Reggie Evans really never got paid. He was a board man.
Yeah. So
Kawhi should tell that to Reggie Evans.
So yeah, the Nets will look to trade for Anthony Davis.
But Anthony Davis said his list of long-term deals are the Knicks and Lakers. He shortened it. So if you're a Nets fan, do you do what Toronto did and hope he's going to agree to sign long-term?
Not just Toronto. The Thunder did with Paul George.
Exactly.
And that worked out. I mean, if you sign or get traded to a team for a year, and then that team succeeds, I don't see why not. Like, it could work out. So I don't know.
But we'll see with Kawhi.
I'm not inside the mind of Anthony Davis.
You don't know.
Are you inside Anthony Davis? Inside the mind of Anthony Davis?
Oh, no, I'm not. The brow, as some may call him.
Yeah,
and
many call him that.
What do people call you, Heath?
Well, I have many nicknames.
Big H.
Big H, Heath the Great. Poor man's Nikola Jokic.
Boris Diaw.
2013 Boris Diaw.
And
I mean, what do they call you?
Max. I'm just Max, you know?
No, actually, they call you Ben's brother.
Ben's brother.
Yeah, they don't even mention your first name. So,
Situation Junior.
Mike the Situation Junior. So maybe next time when we see you guys, you loyal sports fans, loyal, get it?
Hey, shout out our boss, Gary. What up, Gary?
Mr. Van Alsten is our CEO and boss here at the podcast studios. But maybe next time we'll see you. The finals will be over. We'll be closer to the draft, and these big name free agents and stars will be on different teams. So, and maybe we'll have a nickname by that point. So.
Yeah, maybe we'll have one.
Yeah,
but should be a lot of fun. We got some big weeks coming up for New York sports.
Should be very fun. Yep, let's go Nets. See you guys.
Go next.